In 1929, Virginia Woolf said a woman needs money and a room of her own if she is to write fiction. Nearly a century later, the idea still feels radical. Not because women don't write, but because women still struggle to claim solitude without guilt. To be a woman is to be available, to be reachable, to be pleasant, accommodating, responsive. We are taught to feel responsible for the emotional temperature of every room we enter. So, when a woman asks, not to be disturbed. When she closes the door. When she says no, I need time for myself. It unsettles people, even today. Solitude for women is often treated as a luxury or a phase, or a sign something must be wrong. But what if it's not a retreat from life? What if it's the beginning of ownership, of her time, her thoughts, her inner life? There is power in being alone with yourself. Not lonely, but alone. There is space to think without interruption, to create without apology, to ask, what do I want? Who am I when no one is watching? Solitude is not selfish, but women are told that it is. From the time they're young, girls are taught that their value lives in what they give. Their time, their energy, their attention, their care. To pause, to step away, to say, I need time for me, is often treated like a betrayal. A man who retreats to think, to rest, to reset, is seen as reflective, focused, maybe even wise. A woman who does the same can be labelled cold, difficult, or self-centered. This double standard runs deep. It teaches women that silence is neglect, that space is abandonment, that their worth is measured by how available they are to everyone else. But solitude isn't abandonment. It's nourishment. It's where we meet ourselves, without noise, without performance, without anyone else's expectations. It's where ideas form, where healing happens, where we remember we're whole, even when no one is asking us for anything. Calling solitude selfish keeps women tired, distracted, and disconnected from their own needs. But solitude is not the opposite of love. It's what makes deeper love possible. When you refill your own well, you have more to give, not less. That quiet must be filled. That silence is suspect. We learn to equate worth with usefulness. So choosing solitude feels defiant, like a kind of rebellion. To ask for a room of one's own is to declare, my mind matters. My thoughts are not background noise. They deserve space. They deserve silence. A room of her own is not just about writing. It's about self-possession. When Virginia Woolf wrote about a room of one's own, she was talking about the literal and the symbolic, the space, physical, emotional, intellectual, that a woman needs in order to create. But the truth runs deeper. Having a room of her own isn't only about making art or writing novels. It's about having authority over her own time, her own mind, her own desires. It's about the radical act of saying, I belong to myself first. For generations, women's rooms were everywhere, but theirs. Kitchens, nurseries, family tables, offices where their names weren't on the door. Their lives were arranged around everyone else's needs, until solitude felt like indulgence, and ambition felt like betrayal. A room of her own is a declaration of boundaries. It says, my thoughts matter enough to protect. My projects matter enough to guard. My peace matters enough to defend. It's not about shutting the world out. It's about letting yourself in, fully, without interruption, without being pulled in 100 different directions. It's about reclaiming the right to inhabit your own life, not as a guest, not as someone always in service to others, but as the rightful owner. Because in the end, self-possession is the foundation of freedom. And a room of her own, literal or not, is where that freedom begins. So tell me, when was the last time you were truly alone, with no expectation, no audience, no apology? What would you do with a room of your own? And what keeps you from claiming it? Do you think men have this problem or a male equivalent? Let's talk in the comments. Because solitude shouldn't be a revolution. It should be a right. Thanks for watching The Woman Philosopher.